You've probably heard the phrase love and light thrown around like it's the entire point of spiritual work. But here's the thing nobody tells you. The gods don't deal in half-truths, and neither does real magic. Somewhere along the way, modern witchcraft got sanitized, scrubbed clean, turned into aesthetically pleasing crystal grids and manifestation journals that promise you can positive think your way into a perfect life. And look, there's nothing wrong with crystals or good vibes, but that's not the whole story. That's not even half of it. The power got stripped out when we decided darkness was something to avoid instead of something to work with. Because here's what they don't tell you in the beginner witch kits. The old gods weren't all sunshine and flower crowns. Hecate walks the crossroads at midnight, holding torches in the places where choices get made and illusions fall away. A Morrigan doesn't just witness battle. She bathes in it, transforms through it, becomes it. Persephone doesn't just visit the underworld for a casual weekend. She rules there, half the year, every year, descending into darkness and emerging with wisdom the upper world can't touch. Shadow work is the magic they don't sell you because it's not comfortable. It's not Instagrammable. It doesn't fit in a 60-second reel with a trending sound. It actually changes you, and that kind of transformation doesn't come with an aesthetic guarantee. It comes with truth. Here's the thing about Carl Jung. He didn't discover the shadow. He just gave it a name that could sit comfortably in a university office. Witches have been doing this work for centuries, long before psychology existed as a field. The descent myth? That's shadow work. Inanna stripping herself bare as she walks into the underworld. Persephone eating pomegranate seeds in the dark. These aren't cute metaphors. They're maps. Dark moon rituals where you sit with what you've been avoiding. Initiatory ordeals that crack you open like an egg because some truths can only be learned in the breaking. Jung caught up to what the wise women already knew. You've got parts of yourself you've been keeping in the basement. Every piece of you that got shamed. Every impulse labeled too much, too dark, too hungry, too angry, too sexual, too ambitious. You learned to smile through it, to be palatable, to trim yourself down to something acceptable. And now, that shadow you created is running the whole operation from underground. It's why you sabotage relationships right when they get good. Why you freeze when opportunity knocks. Why you keep choosing the same painful pattern and calling it bad luck. Your shadow isn't evil. It's just exiled. And it's been waiting for you to come back down and remember. Here's the truth nobody wants to hear. You can't cast clear intentions when half of you is screaming something else underneath. Your shadow will sabotage every spell. Every single one. Because magic isn't about the words you say over a candle. It's about the entirety of what you're broadcasting into the world. And if you're standing there asking for love while your unexamined wounds are radiating "I'm unworthy," guess which signal the universe is actually receiving? Unexamined anger, shame, and fear don't just sit quietly in the dark. They leak into your energy like water through a cracked cauldron. You're pouring intention in one side, and it's draining out the other before it ever has a chance to take form. And here's what makes it worse. Other practitioners feel it, even if you don't. That unstable frequency. That dissonance between what you're claiming and what you're carrying. The universe doesn't respond to your carefully worded petitions or your perfectly timed moon rituals. It responds to your vibration. The whole thing. The seen and the unseen. And if your shadow is chaos, if it's an integrated rage or buried terror or shame you've never named, that's what you're calling in. Not what you think you want. what you actually are. So let's make this real. Because shadow work isn't something you think about, it's something you do. And if you're going to do it, start with a dark moon. The literal absence of light in the sky. It's cosmically designed for this exact work. The moon's gone dark, the veil between worlds gets thin, and you've got permission, cosmic permission, to turn inward without apology. No one's asking you to be shiny right now. The universe itself is modeling descent. Here's what you do. Light a black candle. Let the room get quiet. Sit in that uncomfortable silence until your mind stops trying to fill it with noise. Then ask yourself one question. What am I refusing to see about myself? Not what's wrong with you. What you're actively, deliberately not looking at. The thing that makes you flinch when a brush is too close in conversation. That. And then, this is the part that breaks it open. Journal with your non-dominant hand. Your left hand if you're right hand. It's clumsy, frustrating, childlike. That's the point. It bypasses the logical mind, the inner editor, the part of you that's learned to perform. Your shadow doesn't speak in essays. It speaks in scrolls and bursts and things you didn't mean to say. Let it. Don't correct it. Don't make it pretty. Just let the shadow write in its own voice, unfiltered and raw. Here's what shifts when you bring the gods into your shadow work. It stops being self-help and becomes something sacred. Devotional. Because Hecate doesn't meet you at the crossroads to make you comfortable. She meets you there to show you which path you've been avoiding. The one that scares you. The one you keep pretending you don't see. She holds the torch, sure, but she's not lighting your way home. She's lighting your way through. The Morrigan doesn't promise gentle transformation. She promises necessary destruction. The kind that clears ground for new growth. She doesn't ask if you're ready. She asks if you're willing to stop lying to yourself about what needs to die. And that's wildly different energy than a self-care Sunday with a journal prompt. When you do shadow work as devotional practice, you're not just healing yourself. You are honoring the gods who never flinched from the dark. You're saying, I see why you dwell in liminal spaces. I understand why you're associated with death and crossroads and battlefields. Because that's where the real work happens. That's where we stop performing and start becoming. It changes the stakes entirely. You're not just trying to be a better version of yourself anymore. You're entering into relationship with deities who have been walking these dark roads since before you were born, and they're not impressed by your fear. They're impressed by your willingness to walk anyway. Here's the thing they don't tell you. Shadow work isn't about fixing yourself. It's about reclaiming the power you buried when you thought you had to be acceptable. Every time you swallowed your rage to keep the peace, every time you dimmed your intensity to fit in, every time you pretended not to want what you actually wanted, you didn't destroy that energy. You just hid it. And it's been waiting. Every piece of your shadow holds energy. Rage isn't a character flaw, it's fuel. Grief isn't weakness, it's depth. Shame isn't proof you're broken, it's a doorway to radical authenticity. When you stop treating these parts of yourself like problems to solve and start treating them like exiled allies, everything shifts. They stop sabotaging you from the inside and start working with you. With their full force. And when you integrate your shadow, your magic doesn't just get stronger. It gets honest. Honest magic is the kind that actually moves worlds. Because you're not performing power anymore, you're channeling it from the whole of who you are. The dark and the light, the wound and the weapon, the fear and the fury. The shadow isn't what you overcome, it's what you reclaim. And when you finally turn toward it, candle lit, circle cast, hands open, you're not just doing magic. You're becoming whole. Follow Blackfire Atelier. I'll see you in the shadows.